YouTube? Otaku here. I'm going to be your personal narrator. We're going to be getting back into it with page 411. Before we do, please go read my channel description if you have not already, and to get a better idea of who and what this channel's for. If you have been here before, please grab your eucalyptus and the inhalation equipment and begin our ritual. Truly is a sad day when you start running out of things. Much like the Joels, but at least it's not food for me. Can't eat off that, Paul said. I know, Tom said wearily. That's why they struck. Well, I think they bust the strike up last night. We'll maybe be getting 2.5 cents today. Why, those sons of bitches. Yeah, Paul, you see? Casey was still a good man. God damn it, I can't get that picture out of my head. Him laying there, his head just crushed in and flat and oozing. Jesus. He covered his eyes with his hand. Well, what are we gonna do? Said Uncle John. Al was standing up now. Well, by God, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get out of here. No, you ain't, Tom. Or no, you ain't, Al, Tom said. We need you now. I'm the one. I'm the danger now. As soon as I get on my feet, I gotta go. Ma worked at the stove. Her head was half turned to here. She put grease onto the frying pan, and when it whispered with heat, she spooned the dough into it. Tom went on. You gotta stay, Al. You gotta take care of the truck. Well, I don't like it, said Al. Can't help it, Al. It's your folks. You can help them. I'm the danger to them now. Page 412. Al grumbled angrily. I don't know why I ain't let to give me a job in a garage already. Later, maybe. Tom put it past him and saw Rosa Sharon lying on the mattress. Her eyes were huge and open wide. Don't worry, Tom called out to her. Don't you worry. I'm gonna get you some milk today. She blinked slowly and didn't answer him. Paul said, We got to know, Tom. Think you killed this fella? I don't know. It was dark, Tom said, and anybody smacked me. I know. I hope so. I hope I killed the bastard. Tom, Mom called out, don't talk like that. From the streets came sounds of many cars moving slowly. Paul stepped to the window and looked out. There's a whole stew of new people coming in, Paul said. I guess they just bust the strike all right, said Tom. I guess you'll start at 2.5 cents now. But a fella could work at a run, and still he couldn't eat. I know, said Tom. Eat windfall peaches. That'll keep you up. Mom turned the dough and stirred the coffee. Listen to me, she said. I'm getting cornmeal today. We're going to eat cornmeal mush. As soon as we get enough for gas, we're moving away. This ain't a good place, and I ain't going to have Tom out here alone. No, sir. You can't do that, Ma. I'll tell you, I'm just the danger to you. Her chin was set. That's what we'll do. Here, come eat this here, and then get out to work, everyone. I'll come out soon. I'll get washed up. I gotta help make some money too. They ate the fried dough so hot that it sizzled in their mouth, and they tossed the coffee down and filled their cups and drank more coffee. Uncle John shook his head over his plate. Don't look like we're gonna get a shit up in here. I bet it's my sin. Oh, shut up, said Paul. We ain't got the time for your sinning. Come on now, let's get out of here. Kids, you're coming to help. Ma's right. We gotta get out of here soon. When they were gone, Ma took a plate and a cup to Tom. Better eat a little something. I can't, Ma. I'm so darn sore I couldn't chew. You better try. No, I can't, Ma. She stood down at the edge of his mattress. You got to tell me. You gotta figure out how it was. I gotta keep straight. What was Casey doing? Why'd they kill him? He was just standing there with the lights on him. What'd he say? Can you remember what he says? Tom says, Sure, Casey said. You got no right to starve people. And then this here heavy fella came up and called him a red. Hi, Dad. And then a heavy fella came up and called him a red son of a bitch. And Casey says, You don't know what you're doing. And then this guy smashed his head in. Ma looked down. She twisted her hands again, and that's what he said. You don't know what he was doing? Yeah, Ma said. I wish Grandma could have heard. Ma, I don't know what I was doing no more when you take a breath. I didn't even know I was gonna do that. It's alright. I wish you didn't do it. I wish you wasn't there. But you done what you had to do. I love Ma. I really do love Ma. I can't read no fault on you. She went to the stove and dipped a cloth in the heating dishwater. Here, she said, put that there on your face. She laid the warm cloth over his nose and cheek and winced at the heat. Ma, I'm gonna go away tonight. I can't go putting this on you folks. Ma said angrily. Tom? There's a whole lot I don't understand, but you going away ain't gonna ease us. It's gonna bear us down more. And then she went on. There was a time when we was on the land. There was a boundary to us then. Old folks dying off and little fellas coming, and we was always one thing. We was the family. Kinda whole and clear. And now we ain't clear no more. I can't get straight. They ain't nothing keeping us clear. Al, he's a bankering and a gibbering and going off on his own. And Uncle Johnny's just dragging along. Pa lost his place. He ain't the head no more. We're cracking up, Tom. There ain't no family no more. And Rosa Sharon? She looked over and found the girl wide-eyed. She's gonna have her baby and she won't be with no family. I don't know. I've been trying to keep her going. Winefield, what's he gonna be? This away? Get it wild and ruthless? Too? Like animals? Got nothing to trust? Don't go, Tom. Stay and help, please. Okay, he said tiredly. Okay. I shouldn't have thought. I knows that now. Ma went to her dishpan and washed the tin plates and dried them. You didn't sleep? No. Well, you should sleep. I seen your clothes were wet. I'll hang them by the stove to dry. She finished her work. I'm going now. I'll go pick. Rosa Sharon, if anybody comes, Tom's sick, you hear? Don't let nobody in, you hear? Rosa Sharon nodded slowly. We'll come back at noon. Get some sleep, Tom. Maybe we'll be out of here by tonight. She moved swiftly to him. Tom, you ain't gonna slip out, are you? No, Ma. No, Ma. You sure? You won't go? No, Ma. I'll be here. All right. Remember, Rosa Sharon. She went out and she closed the door firmly behind her. Tom laid still, and then a wave of sleep lifted him to the edge of unconsciousness and dropped him slowly back and lifted him again. You? Tom? Huh? Yeah? He started awake. He looked over at Rosa Sharon. Her eyes were blazed of resentment. What you want? You killed a fella. Yeah? Not so loud. You want rouse everybody? Why do I care? She screamed. That lady told me. She says what sinning's gonna do. She told me. What chance I got to have a nice baby? Connie's gone, and I ain't gonna get good food. I ain't getting milk. Her voice rose hysterically. And now you killing a fella? What chance is the baby gonna be born now? I know. Gonna be a freak, and never gonna do no dancing. Really, Rosa Sharon? Tom got up. Shh, he said. You're gonna get folks in here. I don't care. I'll have a freak. I don't want to dance, no hug dancing. He went near to her. Be quiet. You get away from me. You ain't the first fella. It ain't the first fella you killed neither. Her eyes were growing red with hysteria. Her words blurred. I don't want to look at you. She covered her head with her blanket. Tom heard the choked, smothered cries. He bit his lower lip and studied the floor. Then he went to Paul's bed. Under the edge of the mattress, the rifle laid. A level-action Winchester, .38. Long and heavy. Tom pointed up and dropped the lever to see if there was a cartridge in the chamber. He tested the hammer on half-cock, and then he went back to his mattress. He laid the rifle on the floor beside him, stocked up and barrel pointed down. Rosa Sharon's voice thinned into a whimper. Tom lay down again and covered himself, covering his bruised cheek with a blanket, and made a little tunnel to breathe through. He sighed. Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Outside, a group of cars went by and voices sounded. How many men? ? Just us 3. What you paying? You go in the house. 25. Number right onto the door. Okay, mister. What you paying? 2.5 cents. My God damn it, a man can't make his dinner off that. That's what we're paying. There's 200 men coming from the south. They'll be glad to have it. But Jesus, mister. Go on now. Either take it and go on along. I got no time to argue. But, look, I didn't set the price. I'm just checking you in. If you want to take it, if you don't, turn right around and go along. 25, you say? Yes, 25. Tom dozed off on his mattress, and a steady sound in the room awakened him. His hands crept to the rifle and tightened in the grip. He drove back the covers from his face. Rosa Sharon was standing beside his mattress. What you want? Tom demanded. You sleep. You just sleep off. I'll watch the door. There won't be nobody coming in. He studied her face for a moment. Okay, he said, and he covered his face with the blanket again. In the beginning dusk, Mom came back to the house. She paused at the doorstep and knocked and said, It's me. So that Tom would not be worried. She opened the door and entered, carrying a bag. Tom awakened and sat up on his mattress. His wound had dried and tightened so that the unbroken skin was shiny. His left eye was drawn nearly shut. Anybody come while we were gone? Ma asked. No. Nobody seen they dropped the price either. How'd you know? I heard folks talking outside about it. Rosa Sharon looked dully up at her. I think I said that wrong. Alright. I was like, nobody. I see they dropped the price though. How do you know? I heard them folks talking outside. Rosa Sharon looked dully at Mom. Tom pointed to her with his thumb. She raised hell, Ma. Think all the trouble is aimed right smack at her. If I'm gonna get her upset like that, I ought to go along. Ma turned to Rosa Sharon. What are you doing? The girl said resentfully. How am I gonna have a nice baby with stuff like this going on? Ma said, Hush you. You hush now. I know how you was feeling, and I know you can't help it, but you just keep your mouth shut. She turned back to Ma. She turned back to Tom. Don't pay her no mind, Tom. It's awfully hard, and I remember how it was. Everything's just shooting right at you when you was gonna have a baby, and everything anybody says is an insult, and everything's against you. Don't pay no mind. She can't help it. It's just the way she feels. I don't want to hurt her, Tom said. Hush. Just don't talk. She set her bag down on the cold stove. Don't hardly make nothing. Didn't hardly make nothing, she said. I told you we was gonna get out of here, Tom. Trying to wrestle me some wood? No, you can't. Here. You got only this box left. Break it up. I'll toss the other fellas to pick up some sticks on the way back. Gonna have mush and little sugar on it. Tom got up and stamped the last box to small pieces. Ma carefully built her fire on one end of the stove. Conserving the flame under one stove hole, she filled a kettle with water and put it over the flame. The kettle rattled over the direct fire, rattled and wheezed. How was it picking today? Ma dipped a cup into a bag of cornmeal. I don't want to talk about it. I was thinking today how they used to be jokes. I don't like it, Tom. We don't joke no more. When there was jokes, it was a mean, bitter joke. And there ain't no fun in it. Fella says today, Depression is over. I seen a jackrabbit and there wasn't nobody after him. And another fella says, that ain't the reason. Can't afford to kill the jackrabbit no more. Catch him and milk him and turn him loose. Once you seen, probably gone dry. That's how I mean. Ain't really funny. Not funny like the time Uncle John converted into Indians and bragged on home. And the Indians in his way cleared to the bottom of the bean bin and then backslid with Uncle John's whiskey. Tom put up a rag with the cold water on your face. Good on Mom for trying to remember the good times. The dusk deepened. Ma lighted the lantern and hung it on a nail. She fed the fire and poured cornmeal gradually onto the hot water. Rosa Sharon, she said, can you stir the mush? ? Out there was a parter of running feet. The door burst open and hung around the wall. Ruthie rushed in. Ma Winefield got in a fit? Where? Tell me. Ruthie panted. Got wired and fell down. Ate so many peaches he skidded all over himself, just fell over. What? Take me, Ma demanded. Rosa Sharon, you lost that mush. She went out with Ruthie. She ran heavily up the street beside the little girl. 3 men walked towards her in the dusk, and the centerman carried Winefield in his arms. Ma ran up to them. He's mine. Give him to me. I'll carry him for you, man. No, here, give it to me. She holstered the little boy and turned back, and then she remembered herself. I sure thank you, she said to the men. Welcome, ma'am. The little fellow's pretty weak. Looks like he's got worms. Ma hurried back, and Winefield was limp and relaxed in her arms. Ma carried him into the house and kneeled down and laid him on the mattress. Tell me, what's the matter? She demanded. He opened his eyes dizzily and shook his head and closed his eyes again. 4:18. Ruthie said, I told you, Ma, he skidded all over today. A little while, he was eating too many peaches. Ma felt his head. He ain't fevering, but he's wide and drawn out. Tom came near and held the lantern down. I know. He's hungered. Got no strength. Get him a can of milk and make him drink it. Make him take milk to his mush. Winefield? Ma said. Tell how you feeling. Dizzy, said Winefield. Just a whirling dizzy in the head. You never seen such skitters, Ruthie said importantly. Pa and Uncle John and Al came into the house. Their arms were full of sticks and bits of brush. They dropped their loads by the stove. Now what? Paul demanded. It's Winefield. He needs some milk. He needs some milk. It's a meme. Christ almighty. We all need stuff. Ma said, how much we make today? $1.42? Well, you go right on over and get a can of milk from Winefield. Now, why do you have to go and get sick? I don't know why, but he is. Now, go get. Pa was grumbling out the door. You stirring that mush? Yeah. Rosa Sharon sped up the stirring to prove it. Al complained. God almighty, Ma. It's mush all we get after work until dark. Al, you know we gotta get. Take all we got for gas. You know, but God almighty, Ma. Okay, hold on. Al, you know we gotta get. Take all we got for gas. You know, Ma said. But God almighty, Ma. That fella needs me if he's gonna work. Just you sit quiet, Ma said. You gotta take a bigger thing and whip it fast. And then you know what that thing is? Tom asked. Is it about me? We'll talk when we eat, said Ma. Al, we got enough gas to go a ways, ain't we? About a quarter tank. Wish you'd tell me, Tom said. After, just wait. Keep stirring that mush, you hear? Let me put on some coffee. You got some sugar on your mush and in your coffee. That ain't enough. Oh, wait. You got some sugar on your mush or in your coffee. There ain't enough for both. Paul came back with one tall can of milk. 11 cents, he said disgustingly. Here. Ma took the can and stabbed it open. She let the thick stream out into a cup and handed it to Tom. Give that to Winefield. Tom knelt beside the mattress. Here, drink this. I can't. I'll sick it all up. Let me be. I made Winefield sound really weird there. Tom stood up. You can't take it now, Ma. Wait a little. Ma took the cup and set it on the window ledge. Don't let none of you touch that, she warned. That's for Winefield. I ain't had no milk, Rosa Sharon said sullenly. I ought to have some. I know, but you're still on your feet, sir, little fellas. This here's the little fellas down. That's as much as good old thick. Yeah, can hardly stir no more. All right, let's eat, everyone. Now here's the sugar. It's about 1 scoop each. Hear it on your mush or on your coffee? Tom said. Kind of like salt and pepper on mush. Salt her if you like, Ma said. The pepper's out. The box went all gone. The family sat on the mattresses to eat their mush. They served themselves again and again until the pot was nearly empty. Save some for Winefield, Ma said. Winefield sat up and drank his milk, and instantly he was ravenous. He put the mush pot between his legs and ate what he could left, and scooped the crust on the sides. Ma poured the rest of the canned milk in a cup and sneaked it to Rosa Sharon to drink secretly in the corner. She poured the hot black coffee into the cups and passed them down. Now will you tell me what's going on? Tom asked. I want to hear. Paul said uneasily. I wish Ruthie or Winefield didn't have to hear this. They can't go outside? Ma said no. No. They gotta act grown up, even if they ain't. There's no helping it no more. Ruthie, you and Winefield ain't ever to say what's to hear, or else you just break us up into pieces. We won't, said Ruthie. We're grown up. We'll just be quiet then. Winefield said. The cup of coffee went onto the floor. The short, thick flame of the lantern, like a stubby butterfly's wing, cast a yellow gloom on the walls. 4 more minutes. Page 428. Page 420. Alright, anyways. Now tell, said Tom. Ma said, Paul, you tell him. Uncle John sipped his coffee, and Paul said, well, they dropped the price like you said, and there was a whole stew of new pickers so goddamn hungry they picked for a loaf of bread. Go for a peach and somebody will get it first. Gotta get the whole crop picked right off. Fellas run into a new tree. I seen fights. One fella claims it was his tree. Another fella wants to pick it off. Bragging then these here fellas from a far El Centrado, hungrier than hell, worked all day for a piece of bread. I says to the checker, we can't work for no 2.5 cents a box. And he says, go on then, quit. These fellas here, I says, soon they get fed up and they won't. And he says, hell, we'll have these here peaches in before they get fed up. And Paul stopped. She was the devil, said Uncle John. They said there's 200 more men coming in tonight. Tom said, yeah? Well, how about the other? Paul was silent for a moment. Tom? Looks like you done it. I kind of thought so. Couldn't see. Felt like it, though. Seems like the people ain't talking about much else, said Uncle John. They got pauses out and them fellas are talking about lynching someone. Of course, when they cast the fella. Tom looked over at the wide-eyed children. They saw them blink their eyes. It was as though they were afraid something might happen in the split second of darkness. And Tom said, well, this fella that done it, he's only done it after they killed Connie. Or Casey, my bad. Connie. Nobody thinks about Connie anymore. Paul interrupted. That ain't the way they're telling it now. They're saying he done it first. Tom's breath sighed out. They're working up a feeling against us folks. That's what I heard. All them drum corps fellas a-lounging on all day. Says they're gonna get this here fella. They know what he looks like, Tom asked. Well, not exactly, but the way I heard it, they think he's got hit. They think he'll have... Tom put his hand up slowly and touched his bruised cheek, and Ma cried. It ain't so, what they say. Easy, Ma, Tom says. They got it cold. Anything them drum corpses fellas say is right if it ain't against us. Ma pierced through the ill lights, and she watched Tom's face, and particularly his lips. "You promised," she said. "Ma, maybe this fella ought to go away. If this fella done something wrong, maybe he'll think, okay, let's get the hanging over. I done wrong and I got to take it. But this fella didn't do nothing wrong. He didn't feel no worse if he killed a skunk." Alright, that's where I'm going to leave off at page 421. Thank you very much for being here today. I really appreciate you. We got very far, and I am satisfied with that. We are about 50 pages left into being done with this. 50 pages, give or take, and yeah, time is gonna keep moving forward, and so will I. Take care, readers.